JAMODI Podcast. My name is Turner Cabinet. Thank you so much for joining me, lending me your ears and eyes. If you're new to the show, I'm going to give you a breakdown of what the podcast is all about. JAMODI Podcast stands for Just a Matter of Doing It. It's a saying that was passed down in generation to generation. It's tattooed on my arm, cut out of steel, and put in my studio at home. It's something that I've lived my life by. And this podcast is strictly to spread more positivity in this negative world we live in, and to help another person take that positive step forward. We have focused on entrepreneurial tips. It could be fitness, it could be mindsets, and then also we interview some really badass people, whether they're business owners or people that just really crush within their industry. Today, I have some amazing men that I've been blessed to meet shooting guns to start off with. We'll introduce them here in a second. So I appreciate you guys coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Actually,
having us.
I'm in your office right now. So we're going to go ahead and introduce these guys. Okay, we got Ken and Drew here. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with you, Ken. Who are you? Who the hell are you?
Who am I? Ken Callahan with Republic Title.
Okay.
I'm business development. So I've been here at the office for about 4 years. I've been in the industry, the real estate industry, for 22 years. Mm-hmm. So my job is meeting agents like you and helping you guys do your business better.
Okay. Drew?
All right. Drew Brummitt, Republic Title. Escrow side of things.
What is escrow?
So it's the part of the transaction between the buyer and the seller, lender, insurance, all the inner workings, right?
Yeah,
We're kind of the middle guy in between all that. Okay. The closing room here, where buyers and sellers come and sign all the paperwork and talk about all the interesting details.
A lot of happy things happen right here at this table.
Right? This is where it all happens here.
Okay.
So on the other side of the desk from Ken, just doing the paperwork, doing the research. We've got the team behind us, kind of doing all of the little things that we try to make sure are seamless.
He's more the brains of the operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't say that off the camera.
Yeah.
He's trying to be nice on camera.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, but he is. He's what I always say this about our relationship. He's what matters.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the guy that goes out and takes you out for drinks and shooting and lunch and whatever.
All the things.
I'm the hook.
Yeah.
He's what keeps you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
all right, sweet. So we'll go ahead and talk about what we're gonna discuss. What we're gonna talk about today, and that would be the topic today would be best with you guys, because I feel like you guys are really good at establishing a community within your industry. Hence exactly how we met. My business partner, Travis Hitt, he invited me to an outing to go shoot skeet. And what fun times to meet somebody shooting guns. I mean, dudes love to shoot stuff and tear stuff up, right? So we went out in the country, and these guys, set us up with some guns, because I don't have guns. I just ride motorcycles. So you guys had all that stuff set up for me. And that was really cool. I got to bond with you guys. And then the rodeo was a lot of fun. So that was a blast.
That was a good event.
And you guys went an extra mile to do it a second time, since you took a whole other group out before us. So I really do appreciate that again. Hopefully we can make it this time, and Travis doesn't have to miss out on it. But
and the Uber ride.
Well, that was a good.
The Uber ride.
1992
Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And how many dudes was it?
There were
big dudes.
Six.
Yeah.
Well, except for Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny.
But
Yeah. I was gonna say it.
You may forgive me.
Yeah, no, it's all right if he doesn't. He'll get over it. He probably wouldn't watch it.
That's great.
But yeah, that was a fun ride. So tell me, man, sometimes and it's so funny, because you were just saying off the camera, you're just you, and you don't care. And I'll mess up the conversation. I'll say everything wrong, but I want to discuss why do you do what you do with your company? Okay, so you build a community, like you're doing happy hours, you're doing this. I know it wears you down. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid. I know it's a lot. You want to have your me time, but the importance of building a community, we were talking about this off camera, is that I feel like my entire life I've had support in some way, whether it's been my kindergarten teacher, my cat I had when I was growing up. Always had somebody that was supporting me doing what I was doing in life at that time. And building a team is always can catapult you to that goal faster because you always need support in some way. So let's kind of tell me your like thought process of building a team or a community within your industry to help, grow the Republic title or even helping other agents as a community. I know that's a lot.
Wow, no, but so really, I love it because it's all about, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about community.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the relationship that you have, and you have to understand that relationships are not one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be reciprocal.
Yeah.
So I can't just be constantly doing stuff for somebody else and there not be anything in it for me. Yeah. So what I like to do is like, you build that sense of community. You meet other agents, you introduce agents, you might recruit for a broker who's looking for people. Yeah. That's all part of community. It's like a lot of people talk about like Facebook, and that is a community.
Oh yeah.
But in order for it to work for you, you have to be a good member of community, which means you have to like things, you have to comment on stuff, you need to, wish them a happy birthday when it's their birthday. And that's just a good member of community. And that you just end up surrounding yourself with like-minded people that want to see you succeed. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, kind of piggybacking on that to our side of the equation, the title side, Republic Title, the community, the support that we have behind the doors, all of the support departments, HOA, commitment, curative. So when the transaction kind of unfolds and everything is, you're getting all of the emails coming through to you and your client, everything is working seamlessly towards the closing, and you just see like my name on an email. Well, it's not, I mean, it may be my name on the email, but there are a bunch of people behind.
There's a lot of turning wheels.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing that I love about Republic Title is all of the support departments that we have to help us through that, right? Yeah. That don't get recognized. Like those people are just, they're back there just working and just keeping everything moving forward in the right direction. So just kind of taking the spin on what it looks like community-wise in our company.
Yeah. So, you'll notice that I'll pull back a couple of times to kind of give the listener and the viewer some golden nuggets to take home and apply to their life. While I was driving up here, this hour drive up from, where I live out in Egypt.
By the lake.
Yeah.
But
but all my friends I do life with are up here.
I know.
I'm getting closer to being in your life, so I'm around. But I was thinking about when I started, back in, all my viewers know I started in the fitness industry. I was ignorant, and I was just doing my work and building a community that benefited me. Okay. And that didn't last long, right? I was just working hard and it was all about the dollar amount to bring into my account so I could grow the company. But then I started realizing I had to get my team members, meaning my staff and my trainers, to believe in what the ultimate goal was. So they all win, right? So they feel achievements and being acknowledged and recognized. And the same thing with the clients, being recognized that they've lost a certain amount of weight or they came to this many classes. They're in the 500 class club now, stuff like that. And I feel like you guys have done such a good job of, I know you have different groups, like for instance, the HIT group, we have our solid group of agents, and you have a lot of different ones, and that's got to be a lot. So how are you able to manage all that stuff at once? Because that's a lot of work. Because we're after this, we're going to do
we're going to do a legal class, which is 4 hours.
So and that's for agents like myself to continue an education to re-up on our license, and that's just a course we have to have. And you guys sponsor.
So we have this morning. So we're doing the podcast, and then we leave to go, and I'm hosting the class. So drive up to McKinney in a class from 12 to 1, and then from there, I have to leave McKinney and come back to Frisco because Drew and I are meeting another client for drinks. So it's exhausting, but I like what you just said a little bit. The people I do life with, and that makes life so much better.
Yeah,
when you have somebody to do it with, do it for, get out of ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think there is not enough, in my opinion, sense of community. anymore. People have become isolated.
Yeah.
And they're become independent.
People are communal people. I mean,
that's
like,
how we
as
were
humans.
designed. That's how we were designed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back in the caveman days, there were hunters and gatherers.
COVID wasn't very good for a lot of people.
COVID
and then
did,
working from home,
very,
not coming into the office, have
people
the
are
camaraderie with
isolated.
people.
Well, and look at that. When people were isolated during the pandemic, suicide rates went up.
Yeah.
Mental illness went up. So
Yeah.
people need other people.
Exactly. So I've also, doing life with people, and it's also a mental game because it's exhausting what you're doing, but it's also how you perceive things, right? So I know that sometimes we can all get run down in doing these things, but you got to look at the greater good of it, like for the better, outside of ourselves, because that's what I was. I was just, and I believe a lot of entrepreneurs go through this is when they start, like, oh, I'm gonna make a bunch of money, I'm gonna do all this, but then once they change that mindset, if it's something and building something bigger than myself, is where you can really just take a huge incline on whether it's business or people that like you,
right?
And then that word of mouth is spread. So that's kind of where I was kind of nuggeting into the next thing is that y'all's word of mouth is so great because you do great things and put smiles on people's faces, right? Whether you don't want to admit it or not, you do.
Well, it is a network, though.
And the real estate community, as a whole, between title companies, lenders, real estate agents, insurance agents. I mean, there's that whole world, right?
Yeah.
The jargon and everything that everybody, you talk to, and you hear somebody on the phone in the grocery store, and you're like, that guy's in real estate. Like, I know. And you have a sense of like, we could have a different kind of conversation if, just if we struck up a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting how it all works and how it all, that interest that we all took together in the way that we chose life and have come together in real estate in North Texas.
Well, and that's a big community of itself. The real estate community is a big community.
Yeah.
So, and it's all about, I think, forging the relationships but then not being afraid to leverage that relationship. Just last week, something came up to me from an old boss, and I reached out to Travis, and Travis met with her, and it could be a huge revenue stream for him. But the whole idea was, you want to know, like, and trust people you do business with.
Yeah.
I knew this person from the bank, used to be my boss for 8 years. I know exactly how she is. I know Travis, and I know that his temperament is going to meet with her temperament.
Got it.
And that's going to work together. And I think that's what we do.
Yeah.
Is sometimes we just analyze people and go, what, you'd be a good fit. Like I met this, we have a young agent we're having drinks with this afternoon. I was saying the other day, his wife is an influencer on social media, and he's about Johnny's age. So I'm like, I want to put them together for no other reason than I think that they're good people and they'd connect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that, and whatever comes of that, comes of that.
Okay.
But I think as long as our intention is pure, what you chase sometimes eludes you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if you're, like you were saying with the gym thing, like I'm chasing the money.
Okay.
Well, if you chase money, you'll never have money.
Exactly.
But if you do what you feel you're here to do, it will find you. And I think that's the same thing with relationships. So
yes, that's what I was about to nail you with. It's like, because I found my wife when I wasn't looking. And I feel like a lot of people find that. Before your wives, or if your friends that were they just like out just partying or just having a good time or just like doing their own thing, working on themselves, and then something fell in their life? Did you ever see that in someone else's life?
Yeah, I've seen where people have stopped pursuing things.
Yeah.
And then they've gotten what they wanted. By, because whatever you believe in, whatever you're, I believe in God. People will say higher power, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we just have to relinquish things to Him, and it will come.
Yeah.
But if we spend all of our time pursuing things, then we're never going to get it. We need to step back and just let nature take its course sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife, it's funny because my wife and I, unbeknownst to each other, we had both created lists of what we're looking for in a spouse before we even met.
Really?
So then that way we could identify. When I met her, I was like, oh, she checks all the boxes. You know what I mean? And unbeknownst to me, she was doing the same thing. So it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
you're just a magnet, right?
Yeah.
You attract what I guess you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go.
So some another thing I'm going to do is, as we're, I like to keep these podcasts rather short because you people have very short attention spans, as well as myself.
Well, that's why TED Talk is 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that is it's typically the attention span. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always like to leave, the listener and the viewer with some golden nuggets to put into their life immediately. And I'm going to put you on the spot. And if you can't do it, I'll help you out, right? But so, what are some good golden nuggets you could give these people if they're trying to build a community within their industry? And it could be anything. It could, be the tire collection club. It doesn't, just whatever it is, petting cats, whatever. I don't know,
Yeah.
book club. But what would be your first thing you would do to start? Okay, you don't have a community at all. You don't have a network. How do you start? What do you do?
I would defer back to the golden rule. So the golden rule is treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most fundamental.
Don't
thing
be
you
a
can do.
dick.
Well,
it's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought I'd keep it a little.
Ah.
To treat others well and treat people with respect, and don't be afraid to just smile at somebody or comment on somebody if they're out. I was at Costco the other day, and this lady, she walked in front of me and said, "Excuse me." Now, if you've been there on a Saturday, it's like the Hunger Games. It is insanity. And people are rolling over, and they're there with their 9 kids, and they're all feral and all over the place.
Feral.
So two aisles over, I ran into this lady again. I just touched her arm, and I said, "I have to tell you, you're the first person to say excuse me to me, and I appreciate that." And she goes, "I know, it's crazy in here."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's just a connection.
That
with
could have
people
brightened her
like
day,
that.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Or so treat people the way you want to be treated. I think that's the number one rule.
Yeah.
Number one nugget. What's the other one? We got number 2.
I think identify like-minded people, right? Because everybody likes to do business or likes to be around people that kind of have the same interest, the same mindset. If you're a very driven, hardworking person, you don't want, the person like in a group project, right? That like comes into the class late and is not going to show up at the library to work, but they're getting the same grade,
You want
right?
to
They're like
chunk of textbook
in
sure.
school, you're like, well, I have to work with you because she says so,
Oh, man.
But now, when it's your
We
life,
choose.
you get to choose
Well,
who you want to put your team together.
And it's kind of funny because Drew and I, who we work extremely well together, we've been together for 4 years. There are people that we've identified in the marketplace that we want to work with, and we've had a meeting with them, and we've walked away and went, "No, we don't want to work with them."
Okay, I was about to ask you, has there been times where you're just like,
Yeah, we don't want to work. We want to work with people. Somebody told me the other day, I think it was Travis. He said, you do this because you like people. And I said, I like the people I like.
Mhm.
I don't like everybody.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing where
Okay.
you want to be around, like he said, like-minded people. You want to be able to communicate with them. I think trust is a huge thing.
Okay.
That doesn't come naturally. I think that's kind of developed over time. But
So I'll help you out here. You told me how to act, but how do you build? What's a tactical thing you could do to start building a community? You told me how to treat people and how to choose people, but how do you actually start a community? Now, I'll give you an example to get started with, okay? It could be starting a live on Facebook and inviting people to an event. Or it could be, anything to sponsoring, classes like this, okay? Feed us hungry agents, at the country club or something like whatever, breakfast, bacon, anything. What would you do for rodeo? Guns, okay?
Yeah.
What would you do to start, like say you don't have the funds that Republic has to be able to do these amazing kick-ass events, but say it's just someone out there that's trying to start a book club, just anything. Okay, what would you do to start a community, to start gathering people? As obviously don't be a dick. Okay,
Yeah,
choose the right people. You want to
we've
do life with.
established that.
Yeah.
Rule number 1.
So those are good nuggets, but I want to ask you, what would you do tactically to start building a community? Because you had to start somewhere.
Yeah,
I had to
maybe
drum
find
up.
the platform that you want to, group those people together.
Okay.
Whether it be, in the church small groups or, a Facebook group or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to find where you're going to start gathering. those
Yeah, you got to
people.
find where your avatar comes from.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But okay. So
Yeah.
choosing an environment you would go to, whether it be Sunday school,
Yeah.
or
Well, I
something
think
like
the thing is too is you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, which sometimes is risky for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
a lot of people are not used to that.
Well, they could have been hurt by somebody or disillusioned or whatever. So I think it's really important to just kind of have the confidence, and confidence is something that we can build and create within ourselves. We're not born with it. But I said, just put yourself out there and start meeting people. When I started this 4 years ago, I bet I didn't know 2 realtors in Collin County. And I bet now if I walked into a room of 300, I would know the majority of them.
Yeah.
But that's just over time. But that's doing everything. That's
Yeah.
doing social media. That's doing events. That's putting myself out there. That's
Doing this.
doing stuff like this,
Yeah.
which I love.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's about putting yourself out there.
Okay. Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
What, you got a
Be
nugget?
vulnerable.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, bro.
I thought it was my platform area.
Yeah. See, I'm not. Obviously, I'm the talker.
Yeah.
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 I sit behind the computer.
Yeah. Again, brains of the
Yeah.
operation. So yeah.
Anything?
Yeah,
No thoughts?
just find what you're interested in.
Okay.
Just start there, and then find the platform that you want to group people together,
Okay.
and just start talking to people.
Yeah. So the 4 nuggets we got from Republic Title from these beautiful men here is we got treat people with kindness the way you want to be treated, choose people you want to do life with, put yourself out there, and
Find the platform.
find a platform or the community you would like to build your community in. These are great nuggets for you guys to take home and apply to your life right now. I really do appreciate you guys being on the JAMODI Podcast.
Thank
It
you
means
for
a lot
having
to
us.
me.
It was great. No, it was
Yeah.
a pleasure.
So you guys know that I do this podcast completely free. What is my air is your comments, your likes, your dislikes. You tell me what you do like and what you don't like. It means the world to me. And remember, as I always say, JAMODI, it's just a matter of doing it. Take care.